Welcome children, and today we are going to do Nationalism in India part 5. Now in the last class, I had explained to you children about the non-cooperation movement and the Khilafat movement. And I also told you that yes, the non-cooperation movement, what were the reactions of the people living in different parts of the country. And today we are going to do the reaction of the people in the towns and in the cities. Now children, everyone is a great fan of Mahatma Gandhi. He motivated and stimulated the people to such an extent that the people were all ready to take to the roads and to take up the fight against the British. But as we study, you will understand that the non-cooperation movement is only about not cooperating with the British. The non-cooperation movement has got nothing to do, children, with demanding for independence. Now let us see what is the reaction of the people in the towns and in the cities. Now in the towns, children, educated people. So when Gandhi told them, don't cooperate with the British, don't go to British schools. And they said, fine, we're not going to British schools. They sat down at home. Teachers and students both sat down at home. He told the lawyers, don't go to the courts. And well, the lawyers did not go to the courts. He told the people also, he said, do not participate in any of the elections, that is going to come up very soon. Children, there was going to be elections for the Legislative Council, and he said, don't participate in these elections. People were little apprehensive about this. Children, then he says, boycott all foreign goods. All liquor shops were picketed, and foreign cloth and foreign products were burnt in huge bonfires. What a loss, children, tremendous loss. Now, children, very enthusiastically, people began to follow whatever was told to them by Gandhiji. Whatever was told to them by Gandhi, they were following. But not for long. Because very soon they realized that, the Indian schools have not come up. And if the Indian schools have not come up, what do the children do at home? I'm sure, children, in this pandemic time, in the beginning you were very happy, school is closed, we got holidays and all. But now we are literally fed up of the holidays. We are longing for schools to reopen. And that is exactly what the Indian students and teachers felt. Now if teachers are going to sit down at home, not come to school, do you think the British government is going to pay them a salary? Obviously not. How are they going to manage their houses if they have no salary, children? So as a result, what happened to them is no salary meant no school meant no salary. So very sheepishly, they came back crawling to the school. Students and teachers, because Indian schools did not come up, along with the British schools. Another thing is the lawyers. First, they refused to go to the courts. But if they do not go to the courts, children, and do not work and do not fight cases, how is it going to be possible that they are going to be successful? And as a result, what they did was, children, they too went back to court. Now regarding elections, some people thought, if we don't participate in elections, the British get the chance to do, children, whatever they want. There will be nobody to protest against them. Nobody is going to protest against them. So what they did was, they wanted that somebody should protest against them. And so they wanted to join the elections. In fact, there was one party they were known as the Justice Party, and they consisted of non-Brahmins. Now, they were the only party that said, we will not support the NCM in this aspect. We are definitely going to participate in the elections. So what do we see, children? Schools, they went back. Courts, they went back. The elections, there were parties ready to participate. And when he said, don't use British cloth, use only khadi. Khadi was very, very expensive, children. Extremely very expensive. And when khadi was so expensive, children, the poor people could not afford it. It was rough, it was coarse, and the British cloth, soft and very, very good texture, durable, and that is why people went back to buying British cloth. So what we see is that in the towns and cities, the non-cooperation movement, it began with a big bang. But then, children, it did not continue for long. And in fact, after some time, the enthusiasm all drained out. And even the ministers, they were getting a little fed up of violence. Sometimes in this part of the country, sometimes in that part of the country. So it was becoming a little tiring. It was becoming a little tedious. Now we have reactions from the Naidobis, tribal people of the Goodham Hills of Andhra Pradesh. We have reactions from the Assam planters, and we have the reactions of women to the non-cooperation movement. Subsequently, we shall deal with each and every one of them. Now you get out your copies, children, put the heading, and please start writing as I dictate. Your heading is Non-Cooperation Movement. Non-Cooperation Movement. In bracket you may write NCM, because that is a short form that we're going to use. Please take down the NCM along with the Khilafat movement began, highlight, children, January 1921, began in Highlight January 1921. Various social groups participated in this movement but various social groups participated in this movement, but each with its own specific aspirations. Each with its own specific aspirations. Now, next heading. Movement in towns. Movement in towns. First point. The movement started with middle class participation, in cities. Number 2. Thousands of students left government-controlled schools and colleges. Number 3. Headmasters and teachers resigned. Headmasters and teachers resigned. Next point. Lawyers gave up lawyers gave up their legal practices. Lawyers gave up their legal practices. Point number 5. The council elections were boycotted in most provinces except Madras. Where the highlight Justice Party, highlight Justice Party, comprising of non-Brahmins, felt that entering the council was one way of gaining power. Number 6. Foreign goods were boycotted. Number 7. Liquor shops were picketed. Children, you know the meaning of picketed? Picketed means barricaded, children. Picketed means barricaded. So they put barricades around all the liquor shops selling foreign liquor, so that people could not go and purchase foreign alcohol. Now, liquor shops were picketed. Number 8. Foreign goods were burnt. Foreign goods were burnt. In huge bonfires. Foreign goods were burnt in huge bonfires. Next point, Peter. In many places, point number 9. In many places, merchants and traders refuse to trade in foreign goods or finance foreign trade or finance foreign trade. Now, next heading you put failure of NCM in towns. Failure of NCM in towns. First point. Khadi was more expensive. Khadi was more expensive than British cloth and poor people could not afford to buy it. Number 2. Indian schools were slow to come up. Indian schools were slow to come up so teachers and students went back to the British schools. last point. Lawyers joined back in government courts. Lawyers joined back in government courts. Now with this, we come to the end of this topic. In the next class, I will deal with children, the tribal people of the Goodam Hills of Andhra Pradesh. And I will also tell you about, the peasants of Awadh. Right? We will deal with these.